My name's Kerry Kavanagh. I'm the manager of Global Project Space, which is an initiative of AsiaLink Arts, and we work with a number of partners throughout Asia and Australia to showcase the work of Australian artists and give them opportunities to work overseas. This year, 2018, we received funding through the Australia-Indonesian Institute for a creative writing exchange between Australia and Indonesia, and we've partnered with Komunitas Salihara in Jakarta, Ubud Writers Festival, and Varuna Writers House in Western Sydney in Katoomba, and WestWords. With our partners, we selected Dias Wuri to come to Australia and Annee Lawrence to go to Indonesia.
Hi, I'm Dias Wuri. I'm an author from Jakarta, Indonesia. Right now, I'm working on a novel called Birth Canal. It's about 4 women in 2 different eras and 2 different countries. It's about women, war and loss and love.
So Verena is really a supported share house. So we have 5 writers here at any time, and the writers have their own room and their own writing studio, and each evening they'll come together to have that communal meal, and often a night around the fireplace, sharing their work and really building those relationships with each other.
This is a really good place for a writer to escape and to really focus on what they're doing. The whole day we can really sit here nicely in this kind of situation, in this kind of setting. It's a studio, right, a writing studio, or I can just come to the garden and write.
It's a very special creative space, the natural beauty that surrounds the writers when they're here.
I'm Michael Campbell. I'm the Executive Director of WestWords. WestWords is Western Sydney's literature development organisation. We're really excited about it as the Tulis exchange, because with our experience of all the various cultures across Western Sydney, is the connections of those communities back to their community of origin is paramount to understanding the complexities and subtleties of the emergent literature of Western Sydney. And so with those international exchanges are vitally important to enhancing both Australian writers and their connection back to Indonesia, but also Indonesian into the community of writers in Western Sydney.
So I think one of the interesting things about a lot of artists in Australia now and the work we do is that they have personal stories that connect them to Asia because of the patterns of migration over the last 50 odd years. You have people that have family, and that's the case with Annee. Her daughter's father's Javanese, and so this brings her back to Indonesia to look at creating an interesting story about Indonesia that's got more nuance to it than what she's read before.
I'm absolutely thrilled to have this, the Tulis residency. I believe it's the inaugural Tulis residency. And my particular focus is on the kind of the intersections, the sort of surprising and hidden connections between culture, and particularly between Indonesia and Indonesians and Australia and Australians.
One of the nice synergies of the program and our work was that Dias made a strong connection with an AsiaLink alumni writer called Laura Wood, who went to Jakarta to Komunitas Salihara in 2017, and they're both young women writers who are beginning to be successful, and they had a really strong connection.
So I met Laura in this event. I remember I tried to see her before that because I heard about AsiaLink before that, and I knew that currently she was in Jakarta on that program, and I'm so curious. And I think as a writer, I thought she wrote interesting topics, and our themes were sort of the same.
One thing that made us connect was we're both at similar stages in our career.
Yes.
We're the same age as well, and we've both written like short story collections, and novels which are a bit historical.
Yeah. And we both like topics.
Yeah, definitely.
What's been really great is that while our Indonesian writer was in Australia, we were able to connect the two. So Dias Wuri and Annee Lawrence met when Dias was speaking at the Sydney Writers Festival at Katoomba.
The project I'm working on is actually a wartime story as well, but set in Australia and it revolves around when 5,000 Indonesians were settled here in Australia and what happened.
Yeah, I think it's very important to introduce each other, and maybe in the future there will be more and more Australian writers translated into Bahasa and vice versa.
In order to peaceably coexist with other countries and other places and other peoples and cultures that are very different to us, we must learn to place our histories side by side. How can we look at the lines that run between these two histories?
I really enjoy my time here, and this has been the best 4 weeks in my life.